So let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
You did a drag act in Minnesota when you were a teenager?
I was, believe, God, I think I was, when I started drag, I was 24. I started doing drag at a straight club called First Avenue. I don't know if you saw the movie Purple Rain or not, with Prince, but I was also in Purple Rain.
Wow.
I was an extra, and I actually had a line in Purple Rain, but it was cut out.
Bastards.
Yeah, I know, terrible. But yeah, I started at First Avenue, and we did a contest called The Great Pretenders, which was a lip sync contest, and a couple of us guys got up and did the Weather Gals and lip synced to It's Raining Men by the Weather Girls, and we won. And we, you know, that was back then. I was doing not pretty drag. I had a mustache. And
It was a little prettier.
It was hag drag basically. So yeah.
And so then you moved to LA and you got a job right away on the spot. What sort of knowledge of the porn industry did you have to just snag up a job like that?
Well, I was a porn fanatic. Saw my first porn when I was 16. Drove to Duluth, Minnesota, and got into a theater and saw a straight porn called Pretty Peaches, and that's how I pretty much knew all about porn stars and different movies and stuff. So they were impressed by my knowledge, so I got the job.
So Wikipedia says that, and I don't know if you want to change this or something, that says that AIDS was killing off a lot of the other directors at the time. So
what?
Yeah, and then I saw it and I was like, who wrote this?
Yeah,
and then that really provided you with an opportunity to break into the industry.
I was hired under William Higgins, who was probably one of the most famous directors. He's still directing. He didn't have to kill anybody off. Nowadays, there's people that I would like to kill, but...
Do you think that porn can provide or create sort of unrealistic expectations for gay men?
I like to say it's fantasy, and it's like superheroes. Or, you know, when you watch something on TV, a truck jumping over a bridge, you know, it's not that probably couldn't happen. And what's funny is Johnny Hazard, who is one of my exclusives, has a very strong personality on film, but he's just a little guy. He's like a little kind of hippie guy that likes to tie-dye t-shirts. And
what do you see as the aesthetic vision of your porn?
You know, porn is not anything to be taken too seriously. You know, it's to get off to, it's to fulfill some fantasies. It's a moment filler, whether that moment is 2 minutes before you go to bed, or 2 minutes before you get into the shower, or if you want to have a long running session and watch the whole movie. I mean, some of the movies that I've made, I think, are maybe better than a lot of these art house movies that they make and put out in these theaters. That, you know, I made a movie called Wrong Side of the Tracks that I thought was really a good movie, and everybody did great acting.
And so now with youporn.com and X2, there's
some hot people on X2. Wow. There are some amazing amateur people on those sites. Crazy, fabulous people.
And have you looked into those as sort of like...
Yeah, I have, but they don't, a lot of them don't, I mean, they're just exhibitionists that just want to make their videos and show themselves off. They don't want to be porn stars.
Also, with the internet and LimeWire and piracy, like I'm an admitted pirate myself, do you think that this is all bad, or could it possibly introduce new viewers who might later go out and buy your titles?
Well, I guess that can be one positive way of looking at it, but it's not. It's just like the music business. And me being a DJ, I admittedly download mixes that I can't find anywhere, but I am a huge consumer. I thought I would never be able to find anything to buy in Ithaca, and I bought this scarf, and I bought 3 belts, and I bought some necklaces, and I bought, I don't have a problem with people downloading stuff and watching stuff if they want to do it, but I would also like them to consume a little bit with money and keep everything going. Otherwise, it's going to go away.
Yeah.
And there's going to be nothing but that crap that you can get on the internet, which will eventually bore people because, you know, I mean, there's lots of people that are fans of these boys that do these movies. And on the way here, actually, in the airport, Blake Riley was kind of stalked by this guy who turned out to be a huge Blake Riley fan. And then they saw me, and they were like, oh my God, Chichi LaRue and Blake Riley. And you know, didn't recognize me at first because I've lost 100 pounds in the last 6 months. But thanks.
Yeah. Well, also with XTube and sort of do-it-yourself amateur stuff, do you think that could be also a response to what some people might see as sort of the artificiality of some of the professional studios? You know, like they're just, you know, a lot of things are a little overdone.
Yeah. The amateur stuff is kind of, it's titillating, it's exciting because it's people that you don't see all the time, and that's what's exciting about it. I mean, you know, boys sitting on dildos that are connected to washing machines, you know, because they want to be
pretty funny.
Wild. Did you see that video? Have you seen that?
I haven't seen that one, but I've seen some interesting ones.
Yeah, I mean, there's some pretty crazy stuff out there that people are doing to garnish their attention, garnish attention from other people. But you know, I heard that Ithaca is very anti-establishment, yet there's a Starbucks in my hotel. So.
Yeah, there's also Starbucks in College Town now, and there's a big...
There you go. I mean, you know, I love Starbucks coffee, but I also love coffee from the local...
Yeah, I always try to go to the local place, but sometimes I have like an addiction for one of those, you know, sugary...
Yeah, delicious. Yeah, totally. But, you know, I don't really like Walmart either. I don't like Walmart coming into my little hometown of Hibbing, Minnesota, and shutting down all the quaint shops on the street. But, you know, when I went home to visit my mom, there was nothing else except Walmart. So you had to go to Walmart if you wanted to get something.
Yeah.
So
you mentioned your mother, and I read on your blog that she recently passed away.
Yes.
Has that been difficult for you to work through?
You know what? It was at first when my mom got sick. She's been kind of failing for 3 years. She fell down the stairs at our house 3 years ago, and ever since then it's been kind of progressively getting worse. And she's 90. She was 90 when she passed, so she lived a full life. My mom was a big, ballsy woman, very much like myself. I very much like my mother. Built like her, I look like her. And she bowled, and she golfed, and she played bridge, and she was loud, and she was fun, and, you know, and at the end she was very, very frail and very, very, you know, not the same lady. So, you know, and for 3 years I thought it was good, now's the time, now's the time, now's the time. And I came to terms with it myself.
So I was just wondering if there's any day slang, the moment, something new that's popped up that...
You know what? Feroce is probably the only thing. And you know what? And I'm loving RuPaul's Drag Race right now. So it's time to lip sync for your life. And Ru told me where all that came from, and it's hilarious. And there's not enough time to tell you all that. But it's, you know, gay, be gay, be fabulously gay. If you're gonna be it, be fabulous. Okay. Be Feroce.
My favorite right now is actually tragic, or trage.
Trage, hot mess. I like hot mess too.
Yeah. How about the tranny? Does that offend you?
Tranny? No, I love that word. Love it. I say it whenever I go on with the microphone. I'm always like, tranny! But we didn't get all this. People are going to think that it all came from this thing on Project Runway. It did not come from... I mean, no. And they were like talking to us that they didn't want us to do that.
Yeah, that was like my last question.
Okay. Tranny!
Thank you so much.